Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm excited to do is going to be all about the new Natasha Denona Mini Retro Eyeshadow Palette. I said in a recent Will I Buy It video that I was really excited for this palette and I was planning to grab it. I did, it showed up, and I'm excited to give my thoughts on it today, some swatches, I'll tell you a little bit more about the palette, and then also getting this eye look. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so starting off with a little bit more about the palette, the Natasha Denona Mini Retro. I do like the mini palettes from Natasha Denona. These retail for $25, which I think is a pretty great price. I know a lot of people mentioned that they're very small and the pan sizes are very small, and I see that and I get that, but it's actually one thing that makes it kind of a pro for me. I do have a pretty large eyeshadow palette collection as a YouTuber, as a beauty lover. I do have a pretty large eyeshadow palette collection, so sometimes I love makeup minis, I love skincare minis, I love hair care minis, I love mini everything, like pretty much except like candy and ice cream. I would like them to be full size. That would be great. But this, I definitely don't mind paying $25 and getting some smaller pans. It's really hard for me to go through eyeshadows, but I will say that I am a big fan of the formula in the Natasha Denona eyeshadows. The Mini Nude is one of the few eyeshadow palettes that I've ever hit pan in. The second middle shade, just the brown transition, I have hit pan in that one, which I'm very excited about. So I love the Mini Nude. I also recently purchased the Mini Glam, which I am a fan of. And when I saw the Mini Retro come out, I was really excited because the Mini Nude and the Mini Glam, while they aren't very similar to one another, they're not like dupes for one another, they're kind of on that same end of the neutral spectrum. Just one is a little bit more warm tone, one is a little bit more cool tone. So I was excited to see kind of a different color scheme in here. I really love pinks, so I was excited about that. And then we have the two kind of more like the green grays. Now I don't go for greens a lot, but something about these two shades, and when I saw the swatches, I was like, man, I'm still really interested in that. I just was intrigued by it. And then recently I have tried the Charlotte Tilbury quads. I have a video with all four of the new quads, and I actually liked the green quad the most because I liked those type of tones in there. So I thought maybe I would get on with these two in the palette as well. So I did go ahead and purchase it. Again, $25 I didn't think was a bad price. So I will go ahead and show some swatches of the palette and then read off the 5 shades. So inside the palette it says, a mini palette featuring 5 dreamy colors for romantic retro looks, perfect for a soft pastel look and everyday wear. This is also a cruelty-free item. And then the different shades inside, we have Galaxia, a light nude with green and blue sparks. Industrial is a green taupe with silver reflect. 60s is a greenish gray. Vintage taupe is an antique rose, and Pixie is a pink with a champagne shift. So those are the 5 different shades in the palettes. Now there are 3 repeat shades in this mini palette from other Natasha palettes. So the 2 new ones are 60s and Pixie. So the middle shade here and then the last pink on the end, those are new shades. The other ones are in existing palettes. So Industrial is in the green blue palette, Vintage Taupe is in the Tropic palette, and Galaxia is in the Star palette. So just so you know, if you have all of those palettes and you don't want the repeat shades, this might not work out for you. If you have all 3 of those palettes but you're like, those are my favorite shades in the palettes and I love that they're now in this mini because those are all larger palettes that I mentioned, and a mini seems more your vibe and you like the 5 shades, you could want to go for it. Me personally, I don't have any of those 3 palettes that I just named from Natasha Denona, so to me it still made sense to purchase this palette, but I definitely wanted to point out the repeat shades just so you're aware in case you didn't know that off the bat. So again, the middle shade and then the last pink shade, those are the new ones in the Mini Retro palette. So that is a little bit about the eyeshadow palette and the swatches, the different shades inside. I do want to go ahead and show you how I got this look here. I do also have another look that I filmed for Instagram. It is mostly just focusing on the pinks in this palette, so kind of taking out the greens. We have the pinks. This is what I was wearing in my most recent Will I Buy It video, so I will also link that down below. I am March Beauty Word on Instagram if you want to check that out, but I will have a second look there. I wanted to do something with all 5 shades for today's look and really just, you know, try to incorporate all of them so you could see how all of them work and how all of them look on my eyes. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the demo. All right, so jumping into the eye look, I'm first going to pick up the middle shade, which is 60s. I'm using a blending brush. This is the P07A from Rephr, and I'm going to start with this shade on the outer part of my eye. I'm just gonna work this shade back and forth, building it up on the outer part of my eye. And I'm just continuing to blend. I haven't added any more since that second time on my brush, but I'm just taking the time to just really blend it out here. It's really easy to blend out, which I'm excited for, since it's not necessarily like a really deep color, but it's not my kind of like everyday transition color, if you will. I'm going to pick up a bigger blending brush. This is from Bdellium Tools, the 785 Tapered Blending. And I'm going to grab the Vintage Taupe shade, and I'm just going to kind of lightly blend this a little bit over the top of that first shade, and just kind of very slightly bringing the pink into the look. And I'm holding my brush more towards the end and just like really lightly running it along my crease. Up the second shade, this one is Industrial, and I'm using a flat brush. This is the Sigma Cream Color E58. I'm going to pick this up dry first to see how it applies, and I'm gonna start to pat this. Oh, that's really pretty. I'm gonna start to pat this onto the middle part of my lid. Wow, that's gorgeous. Focusing this on the middle, but I am going up to my crease and then just kind of patting it towards the two mats that are on the outer part of the eye. I'm getting just a little bit of fallout, but honestly not too much. You can use a damp brush to help kind of prevent some of that fallout, but honestly I don't think you need it to make this shade pop any further, because that is very poppin' on its own. Let me tell you, that's beautiful. And then I'm going to use a smaller brush. This is the Lid Shader E56 from Sigma. I'm going to grab the last shade in this palette, this pink one, which is Pixie, and I am going to place this on the lid more towards the inner part of my eye and just add in some pink over here as well. I have used this shade for my Instagram look. I do think it's pretty, and I do think that you can use it on its own. It doesn't have as much, like it's not more of the metallic shade like the other two. This one is just you know, more of your shimmer, so you can use a damp brush to help it pop a little bit more, especially if it's going to be kind of your main focus like it was in my Instagram look, but especially because we have the green in here and I want to use the other metallic also. I think that this is going to work just fine. So again, just kind of focusing that on the inner part. I think that, I don't know, that shade of green and that pink, something about it, I said I wanted to use them together. I was a little bit nervous. I wasn't sure exactly how it was gonna look, but I wanted to try it, and I think that it looks pretty cool. A little bit different, but I like it. I think that looks fun. A little bit of the first shade with my finger. I don't use my fingers a lot, but this is Galaxia. I just wanted to grab a little bit. That's really pretty, and just kind of tap it over the two shades, like kind of more towards where the two shades meet. Just kind of tap it to give it a little bit of a shimmer. Just trying to work, honestly, like just try to work all 5 shades into this look. I feel like it adds just a little something to the look without being too overwhelming and without changing it completely, if that makes sense. This shade has like the little like silver and green sparkles, so it's kind of fun. I like that shade a lot. The lower lash line, I'm going to grab most of Vintage Taupe, but just tap a little bit of 60s onto, I'm just using the Bdellium Tools brush also, but mostly I want to do that pink and then just start to blend that out. I'm going to use Galaxia again, and I'm going to use that for my inner corner. Just tap a little here, and then also on my brow bone. I'm going to take one of the new Charlotte Tilbury Duo liners. This is from the Maroon collection, and I'm actually going to use the shimmer side and add a little bit of that to my waterline. Also in my order, I got a little sample of the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Volume 2 mascara. So I'm just going to use this mascara to finish off the eye look. Now that you have seen the swatches, heard a little bit about the palette, seen my demo, to wrap it up, I just want to give my final thoughts on this palette. I have only done the 2 looks with it, but I have used all 5 shades, and for something that only does have the 5 shades, and I'm already familiar with the Natasha Denona palette, I feel like I'm still able to give you my review and my thoughts on what I think of the eyeshadow palette. So first and foremost, I did purchase this myself. Am I happy with my purchase? Would I want to return this one? I'm definitely really happy with this one. I was, you know, even though I saw it and I right away was like, I think this one is going to be a good one for me. I want to purchase it. The 2 shades were kind of like the wild cards for me. It was like, ooh, am I really going to like it? But seriously, Industrial is such a cool shade to wear it all over the lid. I just think that it is really, really fun, and I really like that shade. So the middle one in 60s, I didn't find it hard to blend, and you could probably see in the demo, I didn't think it was hard to blend at all. I don't think that I don't think that it looked patchy at all at any point. It is just a little bit more of a darker shade, so less is usually more. I think I went in a little heavy-handed right away, and then I was glad that it's easy to blend out, but I still like the shade. I still like the tone of it. When it comes to greens, like this is described as a green gray, I like that. I like kind of like the olive greens, like the khaki green. It's kind of more of like the really bright or the really deep greens that I just don't tend to get on with. So I still really like that shade. Galaxia I think is really cool. This was the one that I added in last to the eye look, and even though it was just like a slight shift, something about that sparkle is really, really neat. All over the lid, I think would look really cool. Even just as a topper, I think that metallic shade is really, really fun. I do like the lash shade too, like I mentioned. It doesn't have as much pizzazz as the metallics in the front of the palette. You can use a wet brush with it, but I also don't think that you need it. And I just really like that pink shade. Again, you could wear it all over like I did in my Instagram look, and I think that's really pretty. And then I love that we have this vintage taupe shade too. It's beautiful. You can build it up. You can go more subtle with it. I think that one is really pretty also. Overall, I still found this one really easy to use. I didn't use a damp brush with anything. I got a little bit of fallout with the Industrial shade, just a little bit though. I had already done my face first before I did this demo, and it was really easy to just casually flick it away with a brush, and I didn't have any issues there. The mattes I thought were easy to blend. I'm really happy getting the 2 metallic shades in here. I think that is really fun. I think that I could pair this one with the mini nude or the mini glam also. They're so small and easy to, I mean, we're not really going anywhere, but I mean, they're really small and easy to throw in on the go bags if you have somewhere that you need to go. I really like that. It could be a good companion palette to those other ones too. And I mean, I'm really happy with this one. I'm really liking it. I think the quality is really nice. I think it's easy to work with. If you like this color scheme and you think that this would work well for you, I would recommend it. Obviously, if these aren't your colors, I wouldn't recommend buying it, because why would I? But I like the Natasha Denona quality. I continue to be a fan of these mini palettes, and at $25, I didn't think that this was a bad purchase. I'm really happy with it. I do like more of the like quick and easy to throw together type of looks, and I think that's what I can get from these palettes. And I like the shades in here. I think I'm going to be using this one quite a bit. So I am really happy with my purchase of the Natasha Denona Mini Retro Palette. But other than that, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Did you grab this palette from Natasha Denona? Are you planning on it? I did see that the Sephora VIB sale is going to be coming up, so if you were making a list for that, or if you were interested in shopping the sale right now, totally understand if you are not, but if you are someone who is interested in shopping, I would definitely recommend that palette or the other ones from Natasha Denona. I think that they're all really nice. So definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit more about the palette, my thoughts, and also this demo. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. I hope that you also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.